Mark Davis, first
Yes.
of all, reflections on what is only day 2.
Well, very exciting. A lot's happened in 2 days actually, so it feels like we're going into day 4, but we're only going into day 3. So a lot's happened. I felt we've come back into the game really well, and I think our bowlers have kept us in the game. Obviously, in the first innings, I thought to bowl them out for 300 was a good effort on the pitch. It was a good batting wicket. We stuck to our task and we bowled them out for 300, and then obviously we got 5 down for about 50 runs, and then 70 for 7, and ended up scraping to 229. So I thought very well done by Jofra and CJ. It was nice to see them get a partnership together, and we got ourselves back in the game with a bat, and then certainly with the ball this afternoon we did the same.
Difficult for those young batsmen who have come into the side, particularly facing Miguel Cummins, who was absolutely racing down the hill.
He certainly was, and it was dark as well, and the lights were on, so I mean you couldn't have worse batting conditions yesterday. But that's the game, and you know we accepted we use the lights at home, so sometimes it works for you, and obviously last night it worked against us.
Let's just talk about that partnership between Jordan and Jofra Archer, because they came together when, as I say, Cummins was really racing in. Talk particularly about Jofra Archer's display.
But once again, he's shown what he can do. You know, he can bat and bowl, and he's a very, very talented young cricketer. So it's great to have him on our side, and I think his batting can only get better. He played very intelligently as well. He didn't just slog. You know, he played aggressively, but he played within himself, and he defended the ball well as well. So it was nice to see. And obviously with CJ out there helps a lot because they're good friends, and he's a bit of a mentor to Jofra. So it was nice to have them bat together.
Worcestershire bat again, and look as if they're sort of getting away with things, Mark. You know, all of a sudden the lead is up to sort of 270 odd, and Sussex coming back with a vengeance.
Definitely, I think Mags again was outstanding. You know, to get 10 for on that pitch, and I think 10 for 80 were those his figures in the game. I mean, that's outstanding on a pitch like that, which is conducive to batting and scoring runs. So, wow, you know, he's had a cracking couple of games for us, and we've always known that he's been a great servant of the club. But you know, to come back like that with the slow start he had, I think he's been exceptional.
And we spoke to Steve last night, and he was saying it actually been quite a difficult start to the season for him.
It had done. You know, I think the pitch has changed in nature. Normally, early doors in England, the ball seams around, and then there's a lot more in the pitch for the likes of Steve Magoffin. But obviously, this year the rules have changed, and the decks have been flatter, so it hasn't been as easy for him. He's had to work for his wickets for the first time.
Let's talk about David Visa. He's picked up 4 wickets as well. You know, someone who you might be looking at for all-rounder slots last year, perhaps.
Definitely. You know, David obviously he's a very strong white ball player. I feel he can do both. I think he's a very good all-round cricketer. I think he bats and bowls, and obviously you saw him catch and sip as well. So he's a very good 3-in-1 cricketer. And he showed that. You know, he bowled up the hill, which is always hard at home to bowl up the hill, and he got 4 for there. And I thought the partnership between Magoffin and David was really impressive this afternoon.
Just disappointing, I guess, to lose Chris in that last over.
That's life. That's the game. You know, it's obviously it's a huge blow. He's done so well for us. I just said to the team now that we're chasing 260 in the morning. That's what we need to win, and I feel if we get through the new ball, we've got a really, really strong chance of winning the game.
Well, I guess opportunity for some of these young batsmen again tomorrow.
Of course, there's opportunity. There's a game to win for your clubs. I mean, you couldn't be in a better place as a young batter to go out there and try and win a game for your county, and that's obviously why we play the game, and that's why young batters are there to make a name and hopefully show people what they can do.
Final question. Luke Wells missed out yesterday, we know, because of the eye infection. Ed Joyce missing out, we think, with some sort of leg injury.
Yeah.
What's the situation with Ed now? Because he's out of contract at the end of the season, is that right, Mark?
He is. I'm not sure at the moment. He's deciding what he wants to do, and obviously as a club we're deciding how we want to move forward as well. Obviously he's a fantastic player, and we all know that. He's the best batter in the league, I still think. But he's obviously moved to Dublin. He's a family man. He loves being around his family. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Ed's obviously had a long season. He's going to give it some thought, and I'm sure we'll know what he's doing in the next couple of weeks.
And I guess from your point of view, in terms, I guess the planning sort of already starts for next season to a degree, Mark.
Plans we started 3 months ago, really. So no, we've got a number of plans in place. I just think our team is taking nice shape at the moment. You know, we're getting a couple of young guys through, which is very exciting again. I think our bowling attack there with Jofra once again, and you've got David and Ollie Robinson. It's good all-rounders, and that's the objective, is to get as many all-rounders in the team as possible. I think the game's changing, and the teams that are successful in this league and First Division and in all formats do have a lot of all-rounders. So it's very encouraging to see.
Final question about the skipper. You said last week you didn't think he would play in this game. Is it unlikely we're going to see Luke again this season?
Probably not. I think he's done. You know, he needs to take time to recover. Obviously, if we're in the frame to be going up in that spot, I think he'd be he'd be busting a gut to play. But I think Luke needs to get himself fit and strong, and he's obviously, that's his main objective. So he won't be playing the last game either.
Is that a case of rest now for Luke over the next few months, or?
That's all he can do, really. I mean, his arm injury, I think, improves through rest, so that's all he can do. They can't really operate. It's just something that needs to have time away from hitting cricket balls, so I think he needs to rest up.
One more day to go, probably, in the cricket season. I hope it's beautiful weather. I mean, what a day for people to come out tomorrow. It could be a terrific day of cricket.
Totally. I mean, I think one thing about the crowd we've had at Hove over all the 4-day games have been exceptional. So it's great to see people turning out, and a big thank you to the Hove supporters for coming out. We are developing. We've had a few rough results here as well. Certainly against Kent it wasn't a great result, but we're building something special, and I hope they keep supporting us.
Well done, Mark.